People are asking for this KNOP. KNOP. I don't know if this is a joke or for real. This is not Offshore Partners out of United Kingdom, not shuttle tankers. Do you want to look at this?
I mean, look at this dividend. It's a huge dividend. Let's see if I can do math correct this time.
Okay, let's do this.
$565 million market cap, 8.8 PE, check mark. Wow, look at this profit margin.
What is this? What's going on? Holy
I mean, this is 35% down here, and down here it's every bit of 30-some%. So this is a check mark here.
Okay, double check marks off the bat. This
now,
is
dividend yield of 12%. 12% of $560 million is $67 million, roughly.
Are you sure, Paul?
I know, do the math for me, please. Would somebody do the math for me?
What is the number?
564 times 0.12.
564 times
0.12.
0.12. Thank you. It's 67, Paul. Oh, you're right. Great.
He's back, baby. I can do it. I'm back, baby.
He's back. He's back. Okay. Revenue growth over the past 5 years is pillar number 3. This is for what company is this?
Not.
This is not tankers. Okay, keep going.
Have you seen that Borat not when he learns to not like how to
it's
say
like the
not?
timing joke. It's the timing.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
155 to 282, check mark there. And look at this revenue growth. This is what I like to see.
Go ahead,
62,
Paul.
73, 112, 154, 173, 212, 278, 283. I love it. All right, next one.
Profit growth, pillar number 4. Profit growth.
Okay, 40 to 59, check mark there. Still some ups and downs a little bit, 40 to 61, 68, 82, but it's still in the positive. It's not fluctuating to the negative. I like that.
How about shares outstanding, Paul? I would say you do get fired up when there's companies that we've never heard of because we love those. We don't want all the hype stocks. We want the ones that no one's ever heard of. So keep going. This is shares outstanding, pillar number 5, baby.
25 to 33 to 32.7 X. They diluted you about 30% here, guys.
People love the pie. Can you show the pizza one more time?
Well, guys,
what they're doing?
The pizza pie. Everybody does like that one.
So this is shares outstanding. Yep, go ahead.
This is a suggestion from one of our patrons. You have a pizza pie right here, and it's cut into, let's call it 8 slices right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you own one of the slices. Not bad, right? A dilution is basically them taking another cut out of that. Now, granted, it's more evenly distributed. So it's still the big pie. The pie is still the same size. You're just getting a little bit less of it than you did before. That's all it is. That's what dilution is. They're just cutting up the pie into more pieces and cutting up the money a little bit more. That's exactly what's happening in dilution. All right?
A. Bittner says they issue shares to buy ships. And
I don't care why they issue shares. The bottom line is they issue shares.
Okay.
Because, by the way, I shouldn't say I don't care. I do care why they issue shares. If they're issuing shares to make acquisitions, buy ships, great. But your job is to calculate, has it worked for? So let's look at an example here.
David's saying they bought 12 ships over the past 7 years.
So they've diluted people by 30%.
And they rent ships out to people.
And their revenue's up a lot, so maybe it's worked, guys.
You want to move on to pillar number 6?
Yeah, and that's part of the deep dive you should do. Pillar number 6.
Which we can certainly do for our patrons, Paul.
Yes, we can.
Current assets over current liabilities is pillar number 6.
58.75 versus, 132. That's a big difference, guys. Now let's see their last quarter. Let's see, 152. It seems like they're always underwater on that thing. So maybe it's just part of their business model. That's part of the also deeper dive. Go figure out why is it that their current assets are so much lower than their current liability. That's a big difference, guys.
Pillar number 7 is free cash flow, Paul.
Are you trying to tell me that there was very little capital expenditures in this company? Do 87.5 versus 165. So check mark there. Check mark there. And then 108, 154, 148.
The average free cash flow over the past 5 years is 153, Paul.
Times 20 equals $3 billion, and it's selling for $500 million. I mean, I don't know. Seems like a pretty good deal to me.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on a second.
That tells me that something's wrong.
153.
What math did I do wrong, guys?
153 is the free cash flow times what multiple did you use?
So let's put it this way. 564 is their current market cap.
Okay.
And they do an average of 150.
This is millions. This is millions.
7, million. This is 3.7 price to free cash flow ratio. We want it to be below 20. It's at 3.7. Why?
Yeah, that's where
we got to figure out why.
Got to figure out why.
Trailing 12 months.
You're missing something here.
Trailing 12 months, I know I have to delete that on the screen. Trailing 12 months free cash flow.
So not just incredibly undervalued or unknown, just sort of something maybe we don't know.
And their free cash flow in the last 12 months is $170 million.
David says the industry has a very low multiple.
Well, this is a very low multiple. But why, David, why does it have a very low multiple? What's the reason it has a very low multiple? Because the other ones don't have like the Chevrons and those ones don't have the low multiple. Why this one?
One more time, will you please explain that multiple? This is the biggest step that really gets people, and I want you to just go through it real quick. We found the free cash flow, then we multiplied by some number. For our new viewers, patrons, I'm sorry you've heard this 1,000 times, but I need to hear this sometimes too. Go ahead, Paul.
Price to free cash flow.
This is pillar number 8.
Price to free cash flow is another way of looking at earnings. However, because earnings and free cash flow over long periods of time will be the same. But free cash flow is more on cash in, cash out on a year-to-year basis. Earnings can be affected with depreciation, amortization, tax laws, ways of which to look at earnings. So I look at the free cash flow a little bit more. The market overall should sell for about 15 times free cash flow, just like price to earnings, okay? The higher your growth rate, the more secure the company, pay a premium. The lower the growth rate, the less secure the company, you want to discount on free cash flow. So if a company generates $1 in free cash flow and it's growing like crazy, maybe you pay 20 times that. So you want to pay $20 for that $1 free cash flow because it's going to grow a lot. Let's say there's another company that has $1 in free cash flow, but it's declining. Maybe you pay 8 times free cash flow, so you pay $8. So even though they both have $1 that first year, the prospects are better for this one than this one, so you pay more for it. Makes sense, right? Why? But 3.7 is low for anything, especially one that's growing. I mean, their revenue is growing.
Yes. I mean, we have checks for PE ratio, profit margin, revenue growth, profit growth. They're selling off more shares.
Who requested this?
Spicer.
Yeah, Spicer.
David Pumpkins requested this, huh?
Yeah.
All right, this is an interesting one. What do the charts look like, Mo?
They've had a great run since September. Right now, they're kind of just going sideways. I could see them going up or down. Right now, I wouldn't be adding or looking to go short on them, but they've had a great run since September.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they got down to freaking $10 a share, $9 a share back in March and April. So I know we might want to look at this one. This is not one I'd put a lot of money into because of how small it is, but I mean, selling for 3.7 roughly times free cash flow, that's a great multiple.